What's up, guys? Cheers and good morning to you. Welcome to Friday. Welcome to all my replay viewers. Thank you guys so much for jumping in and checking out my broadcast. I appreciate you. Sorry we missed you live, but we're glad you're here. Welcome to all my live crew this morning coming in. I appreciate you guys. Y'all are amazing. Welcome to this Friday. Cheers and good morning to you. And hope you guys are having a beautiful week so far. A great Friday. We're going to get about this day and get about this weekend as quickly as possible. Today, I'm going to be talking about the top 10 mistakes that you are making or possibly making when you are creating your freemium. So we're talking about those free resources that you put out to the web to try to attract leads, generate connections, and eventually lead people to whatever it is that you're actually selling. Freemiums are a powerful strategy. I talk about freemiums a lot, but there's a lot that you can do wrong with freemiums, and you can go to all the work to create something that you view as valuable and find out that nobody really cares to download it, or if they do download it, it doesn't do anything for you. So we're going to talk about the top 10 mistakes that you're making with your freemiums. I'm going to tell you what those top 10 things are and tell you what to do instead with each of those this morning as well. Tasha, great morning to you. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Keith, good morning to you, buddy. Nice to see you. Adam, good morning, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Appreciate you being here. Alexis, Amy, Tracy, Rebecca, nice to see you all. Y'all are amazing, and I appreciate you. Get your morning beverage, guys. Get your pen and paper. We're going to dive right into this. Hang tight. I'll be right back with you. All right, y'all. Justin Kaplan Pro is my name. JustinKaplanPro.com is my website. I'm a startup business mentor and a branding strategist that specializes in helping startup entrepreneurs turn your passion, your gifting, your ideas into a profitable and scalable brand, leveraging the power of social media marketing. If you are new to me, welcome. I'm so glad you're here, no matter what platform you're watching with us on this morning or on the replay. I'd love to know that you're stopping by. If you're watching, especially for the first time, love for you to give me a hashtag replay in the chat stream. I would love to know that you were here for the first time, and my crew would love to make you feel welcome. So let us know if it's the first time ever joining in, and we are going to dive right straight up into this today. So again, guys, today we're talking about 10 mistakes that you may be making with that freemium that you've created. Again, a freemium, when I'm talking about freemium, I'm talking about a lead magnet, something free that you've created to give to people. It might be an ebook, it might be a webinar, it might be a 5-day challenge. And that's where a lot of people get confused with freemium. I think people kind of throw that freemium word around a lot. I want to make this clear right up front that a freemium is not necessarily a thing. All right, a freemium can be an ebook, a freemium can be a webinar, a freemium can be a masterclass, or a 5-day challenge or something like that. But a freemium is not a thing. A freemium is a process. A freemium means that you are creating something valuable for free and you're giving that thing away in exchange for something else. Sometimes it's an exchange for an email and you use a freemium to build your email list. Sometimes it's an exchange for time and attention. Sometimes I've used freemiums just to simply build rapport and respect with my audience, and I'm not trying to get anything from them other than that. So don't get caught up in the trap of thinking, oh, if somebody says I got to create a freemium, I got to go out and write an ebook. You don't necessarily need to write an ebook. If you'd rather have someone stick a needle in your eye than write an ebook, then doesn't mean that you don't have a freemium. It just means that you need to come up with something else that you might want to create that will work for you and your business and create that freemium process in your business. The whole idea with a freemium really is to give your audience an opportunity to have an appetizer with you, to get a little bit started with you. If they're not quite ready to dive right in to your paid offer, or they don't know you at all, a freemium is a great icebreaker, and it's usually a great first step to lead people to what it is that you're trying to lead them to, okay? Good morning to you, Kat. Thanks for coming in, my friend. Appreciate you. Y'all are awesome. Lynn, good morning to you as well. Thanks for coming in. Everybody give me a good morning in the chat stream, y'all. I hope your Friday has been great so far. Cheers and good morning to you. I hope your morning beverage is delicious, and excited to be hanging out with you this morning. Nigel, great morning to you. Appreciate you. Y'all are amazing. Lynn made it today live. I love it. All right, so let's dive right into these things. Also, just an FYI, quick announcement. I am leaving on vacation with my family this weekend. taking my family on summer vacation. We're going to be gone for a week, so I will not be broadcasting at all next week. So if you don't see me live at 8 o'clock, that's why I'm gone. You'll probably see me a bit on social because we'll be posting stuff and doing things, but I will not be doing formal training as I normally do every morning. So FYI, this is my last broadcast for a week. I'll be back the following Monday, but just FYI on that in case you're looking for me, okay? Good morning to you, Jackie. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. Cheers, and good morning to all of you guys, all right? The first mistake, we're going to dive right into this, all right? Mistake number one that people are making when they're creating freemiums is you're writing to a general audience rather than to a specific person who is your ideal client. Now, let me just park right here for a second because I'm going to throw this word ideal client around probably a good bit this morning. So let me just tackle this real quick. In case you've never heard me explain this, I want to explain this. People really, really confuse the idea of ideal client. It does not have to be confusing. I am not the person that is going to teach you, how to create a target avatar, and we need to know how old they are and what color skin they have and how many kids they have and what college they went to, what high school they went to, what middle school they went to, what elementary school they went to, what kind of diseases they've had, what color toenail polish they have on their toenails. We don't need to know all of that crap. All right. All you need to know is who is the best person that you would like to ideally serve. If you ask me this question, my ideal client is I serve goal-driven individuals who have a very specific gifting that serves a very specific type of clientele, and they have a desire to build a business from it. That's it. Goal-driven individuals means I work with people who aren't lazy and they have goals and they're ready to pursue those goals and they're ready to do the work. I work with those people. Goal-driven individuals who have a very specific gifting, talent, idea, or expertise, and they have a desire to build a business from it. That's it. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're a guy, a gal. I don't care if you're married. I don't care if you're single. I don't care what your political affiliations are. I don't care what your belief systems are. I don't care about none of that. If you are a goal-driven individual who has a gifting that wants to build a business, I can help you and I can serve you well. And I'm probably I believe wholeheartedly I'm the absolute best person that you could hire if that's where you're at. Okay? So that's my target audience. Now, I'm going to unpack this a little bit as we go, so I want to make this clear. All right, that's my ideal client, and I've taught this in length. So I'm trying not to go into these weeds, but I really want you to get this morning because it's so important. Okay, that's my target audience. So if you're trying to figure that out for yourself, and you're trying to define who exactly your ideal client is, let me ask you this question. Imagine you have a premium offer, whatever your premium offer is, and I want you to think premium. So maybe it's you want to sell something for $5,000, $10,000, whatever that is. You have a premium program doing what you do best, whatever it is that you do best. And I came up to you today and I said, I got some exciting news for you. I've got 10 people that are guaranteed to walk up to you today and pay you your premium fee for your premium service. You don't have to do any work. I'm going to go get them for you and bring 10 people to you who will pay you your premium fee. Let me just park there. How many would say yes to that if I walked up to you and said that to you today? If I walked up to you and said, what's your premium? I'm going to go get you 10 people and I'm going to bring you 10 premium clients right now. They're going to pay you your premium fee right now today. No strings attached. How many of y'all say yes to that conversation? All I need you to do is tell me who to go get. You tell me exactly who you want to work with, and I'll go get them for you, and I'll bring them for you. That's all you need to do is tell me who you want me to go get. If you ask me that question, I'll be like, all right, I want you to go find 10 goal-driven individuals who have a very specific gifting, talent, idea, or expertise that serves a very specific type of clientele, and they have a desire to build a business from it. Bring me 10 of those. I'm golden. I've got that. Piece of cake. Does that make sense? Very simple. That's it. You just got to tell me. Tell me who it is that you serve. Now, this is where it goes a little deeper, and this is where freemiums can really come into play. Is while that is my target audience, there are different types of people that fit in that mold. Okay. Good morning, Sherry Capella. Cheers, and good morning to you, buddy. All right. There's different people that fit into that mold. Yeah, good morning. So again, if my target audience is I serve goal-driven individuals who have that very specific gifting that serve a specific type of clientele and have a desire to build a business from it, That's my target audience. That's who I work with. There's different types of people that fall in that mold. So one example might be a stay-at-home mom. Maybe she worked and maybe she had, corporate career in her younger days, but then she started having kids. Now she's the stay-at-home mom, but she's still got that drive inside of her. She's still got that business mindset inside of her. She wants to contribute to the household and make money from home, but she's raising a family. So she wants to build a business leveraging her expertise, but also working from home. Treva, what's up? It's so nice to see you this morning, girl. I appreciate you being here with us this morning. All right, very nice to see you this morning. So that corporate woman became a stay-at-home mom, but she's driven. She's a goal-driven individual. She has a gifting and talent and expertise, and she has desire to build a business from it. So that's one lane of one of my clients. Then I might have someone who's on the maybe 50 or older, and maybe they've worked 20 or 30 years in a particular industry or in corporate, and they realize that I'm suffocating, and I've always wanted to run my own business. So I'm going to step out of my corporate job after 30 years, and I'm going to start my own business. So they're trying to figure out, where do I start? How do I get rolling from here? What's that look like? That person is a different mold for me than the stay-at-home mom. I have to market to them differently. I have to communicate to them differently. They have different needs, wants, concerns than the stay-at-home mom does, right? And then I might have a college kid. Maybe I got a guy straight out of college that they got a degree, they got expertise, they got all the things, and they get out of their years in college and realize they can't get a job doing what they got a degree for, and they have a desire to be an entrepreneur and build their own business. I've got to approach that kid differently versus the 50-year-older that just left their 30-year career, right? So does that make sense? So each of those three, but all three of those people are goal-driven individuals who have a very specific gifting that serve a very specific type of clientele and have a desire to build a business from it. So I'm going to call those are my, what do you want to call them? My variations. Those are the variations in my audience. So I bring that up front because I want you to have that in the back of your mind. You need to have that in the back of your mind as you go through the process of creating freemiums. You need to know specifically, who do you best serve? But then what variations do you have within that audience? And how do you want to target them differently in different seasons? Because what happens then is I go through seasons. There might be seasons where I am more focused on the stay-at-home mom and really targeting my marketing at the stay-at-home mom. I'll create freemiums for the stay-at-home mom. I work to attract the stay-at-home mom. I have programs for the stay-at-home mom. Then I might gear later in the season. When I know stay-at-home mom's going to be busy with school and all things that are going on, she's distracted. So let me go to the 50-year-older that might be in a season right now where this is the best time for them to wrap up and get out of their corporate job and make that move and take that step. So let me narrow in on them. Let me market towards them. Let me do a freemium towards them and see if I can attract them. Then I shift maybe in the later spring season where I know the last semester of college is wrapping up. Kids are graduating. I'm like, you know what? Before summer starts and before they get busy, let me target that college kid for a little bit. Let me point some marketing that direction, right? Does that make sense in the chat stream? Put yes in the chat stream if I'm making sense. So each of those things, y'all, is things you want to think about. I am never singular where I just talk to one person all the time. I always know who I'm working to attract and talk to. So again, back to mistake number one is you are writing to a general audience rather than to a specific person who is your ideal client. We are bombarded with information and advertising 24/7, right? Every time you open up your phone and you pull up any app, you've got advertising and messaging coming at you all the time. So it's no longer sufficient or effective to put out generic messages and trying to speak to everyone. All right. Because if you're trying to speak to everyone, you're going to speak to no one. All right. Good morning to you, Jamie Kirshner, and Shirley. Great morning to you. So for example, a simple example is weight loss. All right. So if your expertise is weight loss, the challenges and motivations and desires will differ from a person wanting to lose, say, 10 pounds to look good for their high school reunion that's coming up this fall versus the person wanting to lose 50 pounds to reverse type 2 diabetes and drastically improve their health, right? You might be a weight loss expert and you could probably help both of those people, but you've got to target those people differently because the person who just wants to lose 10 pounds and fit in that dress and look good at their high school reunion has a completely different set of motivators than the person who needs to lose 50 pounds because they have type 2 diabetes. Right? And you might be able to help both of them. but you can't create a freemium that attracts both, right? It needs to be specific to them. So with this one, what your focus is for this mistake number one is to know your ideal client's exact pain points and desires and speak directly to that one person. All right. And again, remember how to focus or narrow your focus to your variables of your clients. So every time I create a freemium in my business, whether it's an ebook or a masterclass or a challenge, I always know which variation of my audience I am seeking to engage and attract at that particular time. All right. Now, I do have some freemiums that are a little bit more broad to anybody. Like, for example, one of my most highly engaged documents or freemiums on my website is my Goal Crusher. My Goal Crusher is a 37-page guide to basically identifying what you want most, cutting through the noise of setting goals, getting clear on your priorities, and having a process for setting goals that you will crush year after year after year. That Goal Crusher applies to my entire target audience. But again, I'm still targeting that goal-driven individual. That for me is what I call a base freemium. A base freemium is high value, something that's always on my website, always available. I don't hardly ever market it because I don't need to. It's right there. That's the most highly downloaded thing that I have. But then when I'm creating new freemiums, when I'm doing new master classes, or what if I'm doing challenges or creating new freemiums for my website, I have my base core freemiums that are just there. Those are foundation freemiums. But then I'm always coming up with new things that I can give away. And whenever I'm creating those newer, smaller freemiums, they're always targeted towards one specific variation of my audience. Okay? Let me take a drink of my coffee. Cheers, y'all, and good morning. Mistake number two. We're talking about 10 mistakes that you may be making when you are creating freemiums, trying to attract leads and generate some momentum in your business. All right. Mistake number two is simply having too broad of a focus. We'll stay on the weight loss example for a second. You don't want to create a lead magnet that simply addresses weight loss, right? You want to specifically call out something that they will be able to accomplish by taking action on the content in your freemium. All right. The messaging is important. Good morning, Maggie. The messaging is important. How you communicate what your freemium is really essential. So again, you don't want to say getting started in weight loss, or beginner's guide to weight loss, or 5 things you must know about weight loss. Weight loss is too broad of an example because, again, going back to what I already explained, you get different people will want to lose weight for different reasons. So getting more specific, you can give examples like, 5 steps to reversing type 2 diabetes, 3 mistakes you might be making in trying to lose the last 10 pounds that you're trying to lose, and what to do instead. Maybe it's 7 steps to losing post-baby weight. How to lose weight, or how to, maybe it's weight loss tips for pregnant women while you're gaining baby weight. Whatever that is, make the message crystal clear on exactly, specifically call out something that they will accomplish by taking action on the content in your freemium. So mistake number 2 is you're having too broad a focus and your messaging is not clear enough. Okay. The third thing I'm going to give you this morning is that you've given away monster freemiums, like 80-page ebooks, 30-day challenges, massive things. And this is the thing. I've got some good freemiums. My largest freemium that I've ever created is my Goal Crusher. My Goal Crusher is my core download on my website. It's 37 pages, but it's not 37 pages of information. It's a workbook. So there's chapters and segments in that, but then within that book, there's also lines and places for you to write and take notes, and it guides you so you learn something, and then you apply something, and then you take notes throughout the way. So the whole 37 pages includes all the areas where you can take notes. That's the largest freemium, the largest thing I've ever given away for free. Some people go a little bit overboard on the freemium thing, right? And honestly, I would say probably a few years ago, an 80-page ebook was kind of the norm. I think when freemiums first really started rolling out, people were really going crazy with the freemiums. But we're all overwhelmed with the information that's coming at us. There's a plethora of information being thrown at us all the time. So people are much more likely to opt in for something that they view as instant gratification, because that's the world that we live in. Right? We live in a DoorDash, Uber, Amazon world where if I want something, I can get it right now. Right? That's just how the world works right now. So if you say you're giving away a freemium and it's like, I'm going to give you this freemium and it's 80 pages, 27 steps, it includes 15 videos, you're thinking I'm giving away so much value for free. They're thinking, why would I do all that? How much work do I got to do? How much do I got to read? Like, no. Right? So no. So the idea of giving away massive freemiums doesn't work anymore. Paul, thanks for coming in, buddy. Good morning. So instead, focus on one very clear target area with digestible action steps that will put them in a position to experience some wins. And that's really where the big thing comes in, is you want your freemium to give your audience some wins. You want them to be able to take action on what you're telling them and experience some quick wins. And it's not the whole process. It's not all the steps. That's what they hire you for. That's where your premium comes in later. But if you can give someone something for free that they can dive right into, immediately learn and apply in their life, and then see some wins, that's when they're like, okay, all right, now, Paul just hooked me up with this awesome freemium and I did what he said to do in this thing and I saw this immediate return. That's bomb. Let me come see what else he's got going on. Let me listen to some of his content. Let me check out his podcast. Imagine what he would probably be able to help me with if I hired him. If this works so well for free, imagine what I could get on the other side of it. All right. When you create a freemium, resist the urge to give people more information than they need. People, come on. We're marketers, right? This is a natural tendency because we have so many great ideas, right? We got so many great ideas. Like, there's so many things that I can teach you. There's so much that I want you to know about this. And this is how I learned this. And I first applied it. It was amazing. And I did this, and this. And, they don't care. Like, they don't care. Not yet. Right? We have so much stuff, great stuff that we want to give people. Stop it. Everybody put stop it in the chat stream. This is a declaration and a reminder to ourselves to stop it with the over-informing people. Don't give them more information than what they need. Resist the urge to vomit everything that you know into your freemium. Drip it to them. Give them just the best stuff, the good stuff, because honestly, they're not ready for that. Honestly, they're not ready for your tough love yet. They're not. They haven't paid you yet. They don't get the tough love until they pay you. Right now, what they're getting is hugs and kisses. Hugs and kisses. I just love you. Here you go. Do this. It's gonna be amazing. Experience some wins. Okay, that's it. I'm done on point 3. That was we covered that one. All right. Mistake number 4. We're going to keep going. I got 10 of these for you this morning, right? Is this helpful? Hopefully this is helpful for you. Mistake number 4 is you are making too bold of a promise. Careful with that. All right? Yeah, I have seen that video, Keith. Stop It is a great YouTube video by Bob Newhart. I have seen that video. That's a distraction. We're not going to talk about that. Don't go look at that video yet. Stay with me, okay? All right. Mistake number 4, you're making too bold of a promise. Listen, the depth of the transformation that you provide is probably enormous. And I know most of you, if not all of you, and I know what you do. And yeah, it's amazing what we do for people, right? However, people tend not to trust you if you promise too much, because it might just be like, no, really? You're hooking me up with a 10-page ebook that's going to completely transform my marriage? I doubt it. Like, have you seen my marriage? I'm not talking about my marriage. I'm talking about your marriage. I mean, it's like meeting someone for the first time and proposing marriage. Like, you don't go on a first date and propose marriage. I mean, somebody may. I mean, I kind of wanted to the first time I met Courtney, but I wasn't that dumb. I needed some time. I knew, I'm all in with you, but you might need a minute to check me out. Let's not just get distracted, right? Be careful of trying to promise too much in your freemiums where people are like, this is going to absolutely completely change your life. And you're like, it's a 1 hour masterclass, bro. Like, no, it's not. No. So focus on smaller results within each freebie. Again, your mission is not to solve all their problems in the world with a freemium. Your mission is to help them with a specific problem that really relates to your expertise and coordinates with your premium so that they see you as a subject matter expert of something. They apply something that you're teaching them. They experience a win and they want to come back for a next step. All right. We're not going from starting line to finish line in a freemium. We're going to from starting line to finishing the first lap in a freemium. Okay. Number 5, let's keep on going. Fifth mistake that you may be making when you are creating freemiums is you are using jargon or your tribe only kind of language. I see people do this all the time. Listen, a confused mind never buys. Write that down if you're taking notes. A confused mind never buys. Avoid using industry jargon or language that only your tribe understands, like words and phrases that identify your brand or make sense in your community. But those are people that know you and get you, and you use that language there. Like that. No. Stay away from trying to be too catchy or cliche or creative, right? Speak directly to that audience. Use language that anybody and everybody can understand. And a couple ways to address this, all right? If you're not sure whether the word you want to use or the jargon you want to use is appropriate, there's an awesome tool called Unstuck It. You can Google that. Unstuck It, or maybe it's Unstuck It. Now I can't think of it. Hold on. Let me check. Let me just check and make sure. I think it's Unstuck It. Maybe it is Unstuck It. I thought it was Unstuck It. Yeah. Yeah. It's literally unsuck-it.com. It's a sweet tool. I've used it before. It's actually pretty effective, and it helps you sort through jargon. If you're trying to figure out the right language, it'll tell you if your jargon needs to change, and it'll give you recommendations for how you could word things differently. Grammarly is also a great resource for that type of stuff. If you're trying to figure out marketing language and you want to make sure you're wording something correctly, those are both great resources to help you out with that. All right. Number 6, let's keep rolling. Number 6 is you are selling to need and not to want. Selling to need and not to want. Need and want are different things. Both are very important to understand, but just like your paid offer, listen, a free offer must address what ideal clients want. What they want, but then solves their pain points, right? So for example, you might say something like, grow your sales by identifying your target audience, or 5 ways to discover who your target audience is. That might be attractive, maybe as a secondary level offer, like someone who knows you, someone who may be already in your tribe and already understands your value, maybe has already invested some things in you. You might be able to, take some steps with them, because that would be like a secondary level offer. Like if I did a training for you guys and said 5 ways to discover who your target audience is, you would probably be intrigued by that because you know me and you've invested in me and you understand the depth of what I train and how I train. But if I'm trying to engage a brand new person who does not know me at all, and they're simply just trying to grow their sales, they don't want to know. They don't care. If I'm trying to attract someone who's trying to grow their sales, that person doesn't want to invest in a training on who my target audience is. I want to learn how to grow my sales. All right. You may know that and you might know within that, you know that they need to know their target audience. And maybe you understand that the reason they're not selling more is because they're not engaging their target audience. However, someone who wants to grow their sales just wants to grow their sales. right? So there's a difference between what they want and what they need. So a better way to approach that would be, let's say, like a 7-point checklist to grow your sales, or 5 stress-free steps to overcoming objections. All right. That is speaking directly to what they want. Now, when you get them into the content may bring up the target audience conversation, because that's something that you're going to help them with. But on the front end of your marketing, in the verbiage, you want to speak to what they want, not necessarily what they need. Does that make sense? Put yes in the chat stream. It's very important. Very important to make sure that whatever's the face of your marketing, this is the cover of your book, this is the title of your masterclass, this is what they're going to see on the front end. If someone wants to grow their sales, they want to grow their sals. So speak to how they're going to grow their sales, not necessarily why they're not growing their sales or what you're going to teach them that'll eventually help them grow their sales. All I want is, I want to grow my sales. Teach me how to grow my sales. Okay. 7-point checklist to grow your sales. Point number 3, 4, and 5 is going to be talking about all target audience, probably, because you need to know how to do that. But that's okay. They'll get into that once they get into the actual material. The face has to say a 7-point checklist to grow your sales. Okay. Let's keep going. I got 4 left for you. Mistake number 7 is you are educating or asking people to know too much up front. You're educating or asking people to know too much up front. Beware of the curse of knowledge. This is another thing that I see a lot of people doing right along the lines with vomiting too much information into their freemium. Listen, hold on a minute. I understand. Listen, I get you. I get us. We are all a very specific type of breed of people. We are all a certain type of human. We all get really excited to educate our audiences about how to get what they want that is holding them back. And we just love to show you the way, right? I just want to show you the way. I know the way. I want to show it to you. I want to tell you all about it. However, a good lead magnet is designed to meet them where they are, right? I was having a conversation with my niece recently who's in vocal classes, and we got talking about vocal nodes. All right. So for example, let's say you create a freemium called "Are You at Risk for Vocal Nodes?" or the 7-step checklist to avoiding vocal nodes. That would most likely attract vocalists who know what vocal nodes are, or who know that that could be a problem for singers, right? But if you're trying to, but maybe I'm a speaking coach, and maybe I coach public speakers who want to understand how to have more power in their voice. That's if I'm talking to an up and coming speaker who wants to learn how to speak with more intent and speak with more power, they may not know a thing about vocal nodes, where I'm trying to basically help you understand, are you at risk for vocal nodes as an up and coming speaker who wants to speak to a large audience? Here's a 7-step checklist to avoiding vocal nodes. That startup speaker may not have a clue what the heck vocal nodes even are. So that lead magnet is not going to work. Instead, I would need to say something like 7-step checklist to improve the power of your voice, right? So that is going to attract that speaker who's wanting to learn how to have more power in their voice. And then when they download the freemium, they get into the content, then I can do a piece about what vocal nodes actually are and why it's important to understand that and how to prevent that. But I'm not going to put that on the face of my marketing, because people do this too much. Don't use too big of words, right? You can educate your new lead once you get them into your lead magnet, but don't try to educate them before they access, view, or download your freemium. And listen to me, don't try it on the landing page either, because I see people do this. Okay, Justin, I'm listening. I got you. I'm going to create my freemium. It's going to say 7-step checklist to improve the power of your voice as a new speaker. Great job. I love that. They put the freemium out. Oh, I love the freemium. It looks amazing. What happens when I download it? Click, sends me to a landing page. 7-step checklist to improve the power of your voice. Have you ever heard of vocal nodes? Let me just tell you, vocal nodes, blah, 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 about vocal nodes. Stop it. You thought that just because you didn't put it on the cover of your book, I'm just going to sneak it into my landing page because I really want to talk about that. I really want them to know how smart I am. I really want them to know how amazing my information is. Stop it. But stop it again in the chat stream. Simplify your message. You want to equip your ideal client with a few key pieces of information that they need to get a result and inspire them to take action. After your lead magnet is consumed, then you can invite your prospect to take further action into the education portion, if you like. All right. So for when you get to the end of that ebook, when you've talked to them how to improve the power of your voice, then you can go into, if you're interested in how to blank and blank and blank, then I invite you to go check out more details at my website where you can find more information about my blank program. Okay. End of the freemium. Let them digest the simple first. Resist the urge to over-educate people just to try to establish your reputation. Over-educating doesn't work. Don't use too big of words. Don't be too fancy. Simplify. It needs to speak to everyone. Okay? Whew. Y'all are exhausting. It's Friday. You got me all working. I'm surprised I'm not sweating. I mean... Are you enjoying this? Hopefully you're learning something. Is this giving you some ideas? I can't wait to see what kind of bomb freemiums you guys create after listening to this thing. You know what's funny? I've never taught this content before either. I know this content. I probably taught it to my clients, but I've actually never taught this in a live before. So you're lucky. Y'all should be tipping me or something. Don't you think? Oh, y'all are funny. All right, let's go. Number 8. Am I on number 8? Yeah, I'm on number 8. Number 8. This is a big one. Y'all ready? I'm not sure you're ready. See, Kim starts paying me. I love it. Thank you, Kim. I love it, Jackie. So glad, buddy. All right. Number 8. Let's keep going. I like to have fun with y'all. You know that? Entertainment is the best form of education. If you can combine those two. I want you to be like, people are boring. Some people are just boring. Listen, if you're a content creator, don't be boring. You're just a person, and y'all are my people. I love hanging out with you. Love teaching you. And if you can just enjoy listening to me and having a laugh, and laughter is the best medicine. Education is fun when it's entertaining. Like, why not have a little fun while we're learning something? Number 8. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Number 8 is trying to attract, y'all listening? Trying to attract those who do not know what their problem is. This is a problem. You are trying to attract those who do not know what their problem is. All right. So if your lead magnet, let me just give you something wild here. All right. If your lead magnet is titled, the sensory integration disorder toolkit. Y'all know what sensory integration disorder means? Some people struggle with a noisy work environment. So the sensory integration disorder toolkit. Someone would have to know that they have sensory integration disorder to be able to take advantage of that freemium. So if you're trying to attract people who don't know what their problem is or don't know enough to even want your freemium, then you need a different freebie. Okay? So instead, your messaging has to address and be clear about what they're feeling and what even it could be even what they believe their problem is, not necessarily what their problem is. Core desires, core pain points. Again, so examples of this, an alternative would be and we can kind of address this two ways. So if I was going to reword this, and if like, all right, Justin, you called me out, man. I just created a freemium called the Sensory Integration Disorder Toolkit. Has anybody done that? I'd be very interested. Jamie would be too, apparently. So we want to address either core desires, which is they have they're feeling a certain kind of way, and they have a desire. You're going to address the core desire, or go right after the pain point. All right. So an example of addressing the core desire would be 7 steps to maintain your focus in a noisy environment, or 5 tips for a calm and peaceful workspace. And you might need to educate them on what sensory integration disorder is once they get inside your content. That's fine. But the marketing wants to speak to what they want, wants to speak to what they need. 5 tips for a calm and peaceful workspace is going to be appealing for someone who feels like their workspace is constantly in a state of chaos and disruption. Or if you want to target their pain points versus their core desires would be 5 tips for a calm and peaceful workspace. That's what I want. Pain points would be 3 surprising tricks for reducing your sensitivity to noise. That would be a great freemium. Or stress reduction toolkit. That would be a better toolkit. 7 small changes to decompress in 30 seconds or less. I don't know if I would add that. I'd probably just say stress reduction toolkit. How to unstress your work environment. Something like that. That's dealing with pain points. So however you do it, just make sure that you're not trying to attract those who don't know what their problem is. Because I'll tell you this, in a lot of cases, a lot of the people that we're marketing to know that they have a pain point, know they have a frustration, know that they have a desire, but they don't necessarily know what exactly their core problem is. Okay? So you can't speak to their core problem if they don't know what their core problem is. You have to educate them on what their core problem is. Okay? Where am I? Number 9. Got 2 left for you. Number 9 is writing about a topic that is not your main focus. Ooh, I said that. I read your mail. I peeked in your windows. You've probably heard the saying that there are riches in niches. You may be good at many things or have expertise in different areas. However, if people do not know what you do or what you stand for, they will not know how to find you or how to refer to you. Choose a focus and be the go-to person for that. And listen, sometimes you got to give up on the good things to get to the great things. All right. And listen, and the way I look at it too is you don't necessarily need to pick one little lane and stay with that forever. I call these core themes. All right. I think it's very important as a business, as a well-rounded business, and as a well-rounded marketer and content creator, you've got to have core themes so that you can pivot through those core themes. So for example, my umbrella of my business is I am a startup business mentor. That's what I do. I have startup business owners. My target audience is, again, goal-driven individuals who have a very specific gifting that serves a very specific type of clientele and have a desire to build a business from it. That's who I serve, right? We've talked about the variations of who those different people are. Branding is my baby. I love branding, but I'm not only about branding, because if all you ever heard me talk about was branding, it would get kind of boring, right? Core themes is super powerful. Thank you so much. Tasha said core themes has helped me focus tremendously. I love that. So my core themes as a startup business mentor, my core themes are 21st century branding strategy, social media marketing strategy, personal development for business owners, and content monetization. Takara, good morning to you, buddy. Thanks for coming in. Those are my four. So again, branding strategy, marketing strategy, social media marketing strategy, personal development for business owners, and content monetization. Those are my 4. Everything you ever hear me teach about, talk about, share about falls within one of those 4 buckets. You'll never hear me teach or share anything that does not fall within one of those 4 buckets. Likewise, my services also align with those 4 buckets. So the same way that I pivot through the different variations of my target audience, like in one season, I might focus on the stay-at-home moms trying to build a business while they're raising a family. Then I may pivot. I may focus on the 50 and older crowd that's getting out of their corporate career and wanting to start a business, leveraging their expertise. And then I may narrow on them. And then I may narrow down to the college kid who's young and wants to be an entrepreneur. And so I navigate. Just like that, I navigate also through my core themes. So I'll go through seasons where I'll spend an entire week focusing on branding strategy. Then I go through another week focusing on marketing strategy. Then the next week, I'm going to focus on personal development for business owners. And so my content pivots, right? So with a freemium, this is the thing. Content, when you create content and you do marketing, really the main marketing is not about selling. Marketing is about positioning. Somebody put that in the chat stream. Marketing is about positioning. Every bit of content that you share positions you. This is why, I have people ask me the question all the time, Justin, how much is too much to give away? How do I know when to stop with the free content and try to lead people to my paid offer? I personally do not believe that you can give too much away. I have been doing live streaming for almost 6 years, and I have given so much away. I tell everything. I teach everything. People are like, Justin, I can't believe you're teaching that, man. You can charge for that. I know. But look at the impact that I make when I teach it for free. And all that does, it's like today's content. If this is the first time, and if somebody's watching me for the first time, and there'll be a bunch of people watching this for the first time, they're going to come across this video, and they're trying to figure out a freemium, and they're trying to figure out a freemium because they're trying to figure out their marketing. They're trying to figure out their marketing because they just started a business and they don't know what they're doing, and they're trying to figure out someone who can help them. And they come across this video about freemiums, and they're listening to me talk for the past 47 minutes, and they're like, this guy knows what he's talking about. I could see myself working with him. I've told you, how many times have I told you my target audience today to implant that in your mind, that I work with goal-driven individuals who have a very specific gifting that serves a very specific type of clientele and have a desire to build a business from it. I've told you what my core themes are. So someone's listening to me for the first time. I have ingrained in your mind who I am, what I do, what I specialize in, and how I can help you. This content is positioning. This content positions me in your mind as the go-to person for social media marketing. This content today positions me in your mind as a startup business mentor who can help you. So every bit of content is positioning me in your mind as the go-to person for what I'm really good at. All right. Content is about positioning. So when you have core themes such as mine, branding strategy, social media marketing strategy, personal development for business owners, and content monetization, all those things are positioning me as the go-to person who can be a resource for you and a guide to you and a coach and a mentor for you when you're ready to make an investment. So as I've positioned myself in your mind after content, video after video, podcast after podcast, freemium after freemium, you have these experiences with me. Then when the day comes where you're like, I think I'm really seriously ready to start this business. I need to get my branding done. I need to get my website built. I need to figure out how to market myself. I do not want to waste my time. I do not want to waste my money. I want to work with someone who knows what they're doing. I'm going to reach out to Justin because he's been so helpful to me in the past. I've learned so much from him. There's so much that he's taught that I've been able to apply. Listen to me. The service provider, write this down if you're taking notes. We're all service providers. The service provider that best demonstrates that they understand their prospect's problem and can provide a valuable solution is usually the one that gets the business. When people are ready to make an investment, they go back to a trusted source who has been helpful to them in the past. Put yourself in that position and be that source. This is why I talk so much about inconsistency and not showing up for your audience. Guys, listen. If you're not showing up for your audience, you will not be the first person that comes across their mind when they're ready to hire someone. Just because you've got a good-looking website and a detailed plan for how you would work with them, and you got a couple videos and some things here and there, if you are not continually showing up for your audience and positioning yourself in their mind as the go-to person for that subject, then when they need help and they're ready to pay for that help, they're going to go to the first person that comes across their mind that has been showing up, that has been helpful, that has been there for them in the past. Am I making any sense this morning? All right. Very important. So, number 9, writing about a topic that isn't your main focus. If you share content and post about stuff that falls outside of your expertise, it's just diluting your core message. All right. So make sure when you're creating freemiums, you understand the variations of your target audience and you understand your core themes, and your freemium should always align with those. All right. Last one, number 10. I'm going to get you out of here. Number 10 is you have the free offer, but it's independent. You have the free offer, but it's independent. What that means is that a lot of people will create a freemium just to create a freemium. Well, Justin, I'm going to create a freemium because I want to build my list. Why? Well, aren't I supposed to build my list? Well, building a list is good, but what are you going to do with the list? What do you mean? I want to build an email list. Why? What are you going to do with the email list? I don't know. I just thought it was good to have an email list. Well, it's good to have an email list, but there's no point in having an email list if you don't have a plan of what you're going to do with the email list. It's a waste of time and expenses to create and run ads and create freemiums and do masterclasses and do challenges if the free thing that you're doing is not related to your signature system or your high ticket offer. It should be, your freemium should be a part of an overall online marketing strategy. I do not promote freemiums until I have when you hear me talk about freemiums, it's usually when I have a full marketing plan in place that eventually ends with something that I'm selling or promoting or launching. Freemiums always fit into a mold, right? Your lead magnet should be congruent with whatever it is that you're eventually trying to lead people to. Your freemium is the entry point. It's the starting point. It's the first step. It's designed to get your ideal client a quick win or a slice of transformation so that they can take the next step in working with you further down the road. Think of your free offer, whatever your free offer is or whatever your freemium is, as the first step in the process of working with you. In a sales funnel, the lead magnet is the first step in getting a prospect to take action and get to know your business, making it an important piece of marketing content to do right. All right? Very important. First step. That's your thoughts. That's 10 mistakes that you may be making with your freemium today, guys. I hope that was good for you. I hope you appreciate that one. 10 things that'll give you a lot of clarity and hopefully making your freemiums rock star freemiums. Because honestly, guys, creating a freemium can be frustrating if you get it wrong, because you can spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, in some cases a lot of money, trying to create something valuable for free. And if you don't get a return on it, it can be tremendously frustrating, right? So think of these things as you're creating your new freemium, and I appreciate your time and attention. Y'all are amazing. I'm headed off on vacation next week, so I will be gone. Thank you so much for the love and support. I appreciate you. Listen, I've got some bomb content lately, some good stuff that you can really work with. So I'm going to challenge you as I'm gone next week to make it a replay week. Dive into some of my replays. My replays are on my Facebook page. My podcasts are there. My YouTube channel. Dive into some of my content over the past couple of weeks. I've dosed out some high value stuff in the last couple of weeks, and all of them are actionable things that you can dig into and work with. So I challenge you next week, each day, 8 o'clock in the morning. Stay in a routine. Pick a video, pick a podcast, or pick some content that you have not diving into before, or maybe haven't heard in a while. Go back and dig into and apply. Learn and apply. Learn and apply. Learn and apply. All right. That's my mission for you. Have a beautiful Friday. Have a great weekend. I so appreciate every single one of you guys. Be intentional with your time. Be intentional with your talent. Enjoy your morning beverage. Cheers and good morning to you. And I will see you guys all around the web. All right. Take care. God bless y'all. I'll see y'all later.